Well, folks, Hurricane Hermine certainly made her impact Friday night and throughout the week, but not all of the games were canceled or postponed. SNN's Friday Football Fever Show for Week 2 of the 2016 high school football season begins now. Hello, everybody. Once again, hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Football Fever, presented by our friends at Ingman Marine. Trevor DeGroat here at the helm for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, like I said, Hurricane Hermine impacting the Florida Suncoast this week has really put high schools into a frenzy in making some decisions and having to take necessary precautions for their students. Many, of course, of these schools canceling classes and subsequently practices and sporting events for the football teams. The storm had such an impact that many of this week's games were not able to be played, but a select few were, including a city rivalry game between the Booker Tornadoes and the Sarasota Sailors. The only game under the lights in Sarasota. Both teams knew all eyes were on them. Now we'll move early into the first quarter. Booker making some mistakes early on the snap, goes way over quarterback Arthur Brantley's head. This was a common theme throughout the night for the Tornadoes. Would have to punt. Sarasota set up with great field position, and on the first play from scrimmage, Brian Gagg finds Zachary Hawkins on the pass for 6-7-0 Sailors. Booker's next possession, Brantley picked off by Hawkins. He plays both sides, and the Sailors take advantage. Sailors fans anticipating, wanting another score, they get one. Gagg calls his own number, quarterback sneak. Sailors are rolling 13-0. Tornadoes back on offense, but not for long. Brantley drops back to pass. Look at number 52, Breonce Adams, gets his hand on the ball, scoops it up, and he's going to score, folks. You don't see a big fella scoring too often, but that's exciting stuff. Booker can't get anything going on offense. Another snap goes haywire. Brantley has to recover the ball in the end zone. That will result in a safety, 22-0. And after the ensuing kickoff, look at this, a benches clearing brawl takes place. Lots of pushing and shoving between both sides. Players from both teams were ejected from this game. 4 for Booker, 3 for Sarasota. Back to the game, Sailors looking for more points, but the Tornadoes defense holds them to just 3. 25-0 Sarasota is eventually what they're going to get right here. Good kick for 3. Booker defense starting to come alive a little bit after the brawl, and Kelvin Pinckney Jr. brings down Gagg for the quarterback sack. Nice job. Second quarter, Booker has the keys in the ignition and are trying to drive the ball until another snap over Brantley's head will come right there again. A lot of these tonight for the Tornadoes. Sailors will recover that ball. Tornadoes defense would come up with another goal line stand to hold Sarasota. So they're doing a very nice job right now trying to keep Sarasota off their heels, and they're off their heels coincidentally. 28-0 Sailors. On the Tornadoes' next possession, Brantley hits Talik Keaton for a huge play down to the Sarasota 2-yard line. On the next play, it's Darren Davis who punches it in. Finally, Tornadoes on the scoreboard showing some life. 28-6 on Sarasota's next possession. Gagg's going to pass will be tipped. Tornadoes showing more stuff on defense. Intercepted by the Tornadoes. A little tip drill right there. Usually the defense comes away with that. Momentum on their side, but unfortunately their drive would stall. Sarasota would eventually get back in business. Gagg eventually hits Charles Ward for the score, and they take a commanding lead in this game and a commanding finish. As you see, Sarasota High goes on to win 49-6. Now, as far as some other scores going on out of the area, Northport went on the road against Ida Baker, unfortunately losing tonight 28-6. And Estero also defeating Lemon Bay. Lemon Bay was on the road tonight, so 21-0 there. And we're going to get to the other scores here momentarily. Some other scores that happened, unfortunately we do not have the highlights for you to show, but the Charlotte Fighting Tarpons certainly put a whooping. This is their first game of the year for them, so they didn't have a game last week because of rain and weather going on, but they were able to get a big victory tonight. 42-13 tonight over Naples Leli, and then the Pirates, Port Charlotte Pirates had a home game, their first of the year. No delay this week. They had a delay last week against Lemon Bay, having to play on Saturday. Luckily, they don't have to this week. They played Naples Barron Collier, and they had a 33-7 victory. So a very good game for those two teams out of Charlotte County. Definitely doing a great job tonight. So that's where we stand at this moment, but coming up next, we'll update you on Friday's games that we were not able to get to show you, and we're to get underway as scheduled as I try to get my voice back here and in my sense of completing sentences. We'll certainly introduce you to another news feature as well on this show that we'll be displaying for the rest of this year. We'll tell you all about it when Friday Football Fever continues right after this. back to Friday Football Fever. As previously mentioned before, multiple games were canceled or postponed Friday night because of Hurricane Hermine. The day started with all three Sarasota County games unaffected, but schools decided to err, of course, on the side of caution. Out of Door Academy was to host St. Petersburg's Keswick Christian. The Thunder will have to wait for their first win of the season and home game of the season Saturday morning at 11 a.m. And also, Riverview High School was all set to take on the Venice Indians in a very big school showdown, a 7A team versus an 8A team. And both teams coming off Week 1 wins, but of course that was delayed too from the Ram Bowl. As of Friday night, there is no word on if this game will be rescheduled at this moment. We will certainly try to keep you posted on that. Now, as far as the other Manatee County games that were called, 2 have been canceled outright. Southeast at Braden River, along with Lakewood Ranch at Bayshore. Originally, the Mustangs and the Bruins postponed the game to Saturday. However, the field had too much water damage and it was deemed unplayable. Now, both of these games were non-district games. St. Stephen's must make up their SSAC district game with Santa Fe Catholic. As you see there, this game will be played Saturday at 10:30 a.m. in the morning. And the showdown between Palmetto and Manatee has been moved to Labor Day evening at 6 o'clock from Hurricane Stadium. That is going to be an excellent game right there, so keep your eyes on that one. It's time for us to debut our newest Friday football feature. For the remainder of this season, we here at SNN will be giving you our Super 6 poll. Herald Tribune sports writer Doug Fernandez and I will be talking about the top 6 teams from across the area and what we deem is going to be the top 6 teams in the area, as well as a few teams to keep your eye on a week-to-week basis for every show. And after Week 1 of the regular season, Braden River stands on top of the crowd for now, and they're right behind them, though, is their district rival Venice. Those two will certainly clash this year. Manatee coming off a high-scoring loss to Alabama powerhouse Hewitt-Trussville. They're third in this poll. We'll try to get back on track next Monday, of course, against the Tigers. Palmetto's at 5, and the Tarpons and Pirates, both coming off wins tonight and representing Charlotte County. The Tarpons are 4, and the Pirates are 6, representing Port Charlotte. Creeping close behind are these teams, Sarasota, Riverview, and Southeast, both of whom, or all 3 of those, are really knocking on the door. Sarasota especially, with what we've seen tonight, very good stuff. Well, when Friday Football Fever continues, we will look back at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers final roster following the preseason, and we're going to go off the gridiron a little bit to the diamond with highlights of Alex Cobb's return with the Rays. Stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back to Friday Football Fever. We're going to go off the gridiron for now for a moment and go to some baseball, where the Rays welcome back pitcher Alex Cobb to the mound for his first regular season start in nearly 2 years. 705 long days between starts. Cobb had to shake off some rust early against Toronto. Edwin Encarnacion shoots a double for the first run of the game. Cobb would give up another run. It was over 50 pitches through 2 innings. Really struggling at first, not too shocking coming off Tommy John surgery, but it began to settle into a zone close to the peak levels we've witnessed from him in the past. He ended up retiring the last 10 batters he faced. Overall, 5 innings, allowing 4 runs, 2 runs, all earned, 1 walk, striking out 7 batters on 84 pitches. So very good game for the Bulldog. Tied at 2. Here come the long balls. Logan Morrison belts his 12th dinger of the season in the 6th. Luke Maley and Brad Miller would follow up with home runs as well. The Rays eventually sting the Jays 8-3 at the Trop. And the Buccaneers have made the 53-man roster requirement after cutting 22 players Friday. Some notable names who missed the cut include wide receiver Kenny Bell and fullback/tight end Danny Vitale, who was a 7th-round pick this year. Speaking of tight ends, the Bucs have kept an unprecedented 5 on the roster. Cameron Brate, Austin Safarian-Jenkins, Luke Stalker, Brandon Myers, and undrafted rookie Alan Cross. And so expect a lot of single-back sets in Dirk Cutter's offense this year. The Bucs also have 6 defensive ends right now on the roster. So interesting to see what the Bucs have already done so far. And here is our Super 6 poll, as we previously mentioned, folks. Braden River, Venice, Manatee, Charlotte, Palmetto, and Port Charlotte are our top 6 teams we deem right now as the top guys that we need to really see going forward, that are really at the cream of the crop. But I'm telling you, Sarasota already with 2 wins this year, dominating wins. Riverview obviously had a pretty dominant win over Booker, was rained out against Venice, so we'll see how they do going forward. In Southeast, a tough loss last week, but still pretty good talent, and Rashad West trying to rebuild that program, trying to get it back to dominance. So keep an eye on these teams, and of course a lot more. You never know who could creep up this poll. It'll certainly be interesting to see. Well, that'll wrap things up for this week's edition of Friday Football Fever Show, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out our website, SNNTV.com, for the latest updated scores from this weekend, especially. There's going to be some games going on, and HDPreps.com for more details on this week's action. Thank you so much again for tuning in, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.